welcome. My name is Michelle Mayhew, and I'm the Executive Director and COO of TIC, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the screening of Barry. I would like to thank the festival's lead sponsor, Bell, and our major sponsors, RBC and BlackBerry, and to our major public supporters, the Government of Ontario, Telefilm Canada, and City of Toronto. Thank you for all of your support as well. Yes. From film favorites to award-winning original series, AMC celebrates quality storytelling and is proud to support the Special Presentations program, so a big thank you to them. Don't forget the film is eligible for the People's Choice Award, the Cadillac People's Choice Award, so please vote. Please vote. And a big thank you to Maple Pictures, our distributor in Canada, and Lionsgate, who has the film in the States. And don't forget to turn off all your toys. That includes your cell phones and your Blackberries and any other photographic equipment. You know it's illegal. Blah, blah, blah. In the world of high concept pitches, of which there are many at any given festival, I can't imagine one really more perfectly constructed than Buried. It's one man buried underground with two gadgets. Later in, Ryan Reynolds as the man. Having seen the proposal 27 times. An assured direction from Rodrigo Cortez. I mean, this is a very, very impressively made film, let me tell you. This has been, I've already heard people comparing this to Hitchcock, and Rope has been a film that's been mentioned about this. This is better. Not to set it up too high for you, but Rodrigo also edited the film, and paid particular attention to this because it's one of those pieces that every moment counts, and he's really made that evident in the way that he's edited the piece as well. I can tell you I was on the edge of my seat the whole time I saw this film. I sat alone in a big, beautiful screening room in the dark, and I was scared out of my mind. I think I slept with the light on that night. We're really thrilled that there are a number of the people here with the film tonight, and there will be a Q&A, so please don't run away afterwards. Please welcome the very talented writer and editor, Rodrigo Cortez.
It's good that you applaud now, because afterwards you never know. So, this is a lot of people in the house tonight. It's pretty crowded of sick people. I'm not going to say a lot of things about the movie because you have to see it, and because it's about a guy in a box, so you cannot say a lot of things. I mean, we have a guy and a box. And still you are here. I wonder what exactly you didn't understand. Okay, first let me thank Lionsgate for being here. Isn't Lionsgate a Canadian mountain or something like that? Okay, so thanks to Lionsgate for giving their name to a natural, I don't know, whatever, so thanks. And let me introduce you a couple of friends that wanted to join us tonight. One of them is guilty of what you are going to see now. He wrote this, so if you want to complain, please complain to him. It's Chris Pardy. And you also have the whole cast of Barry. With Ryan Reynolds.
I don't know about the Rope comparison. I think of this as the long-awaited sequel to Finding Nemo. It's amazing to be here in Canada, my home. But home nonetheless. I really hope you enjoy this movie. As I've said once before, I hope you enjoy it as much as I hated making it. He hated making it, and he hated writing it. So please enjoy, buckle up, and we'll be here right after the show. Okay?
Please take a deep breath, because that's the last one you are going to take. If you like the movie, I directed it. If you don't, I will tell you what you want. I didn't write this shit.
As you know, we're so lucky to have some members of the creative team here tonight for a Q&A, so I'm really glad you've all stayed, because this is going to be great. And just to let you know, oh, by the way, my name's Nicole, I work for the programming department. We have probably 15 minutes for the Q&A. We'll try to take as many questions from the audience as possible. It's a little hard to see with the lights, so if you do have a question, just, wave vigorously. And we'll try to repeat all the questions on the microphone, just because with the room this big, it's hard to hear people. So now, please join me in welcoming to the stage the people who created this amazing film. The screenwriter, Chris Sparling. Yes. And the director, Rodrigo Cortez. And of course, the star of the show, the amazing Ryan Reynolds. That was unbelievable. Congratulations, and thanks so much for joining us here. This is great to have you. Maybe just to start us off, do you want to talk a little bit about kind of the genesis of this idea and how this project came to be and how you got involved?
You wrote it.
Okay. It started off as a financial decision because this was something that I intended to make myself for literally next to nothing. I had a buddy in California, my buddy Joe, and I remember calling him up because I thought I was going to make this for about $5,000 in his apartment. And I remember calling him up and going, Joe, you have to start taking trips down to Santa Monica and collecting like pails of sand because we're going to need it for the end sequence. So anyway, that gives you an indication of the type of small film I was planning to make. I was fortunate enough to land it into the hands of Peter Safran, who's the amazing producer of this film, who had the vision and the guts to keep it completely contained in the box for the 90 minutes. As I wrote it, he said, Chris, I can do this exactly as you made it. I know the perfect guy to do this, and he's crazy enough to do it. And he's brilliant. Let's face it, he's brilliant. And that was it. And then luckily, you met with Ryan.
Ryan.
And we're extremely lucky to have him.
Poor mom is sitting right there. And she's just having a heart attack. Sorry. Go to the proposal 2 or something.
Where's your mom? Can you wave so we can all see you? Thank you for Ryan Reynolds.
All 10 fingers.
Mrs. Reynolds.
I'm sorry,
Sure.
Ryan, I just want you to know for the record, I didn't write the C word in the script. I'm just saying that some ad-libbing.
Sometimes the spirit moves you.
I just want you to know that I'm not that short. I'm regular size. It's just that he's so tall. That's all I have to say to you.
Make Rodrigo look like a children's toy. That's what he's saying.
Do you want to talk about what you thought when you got the screenplay?
Yeah, I thought this is an amazing piece of writing. It's a novel, really. It feels like a great novel. And I thought this is not possible to shoot, so good luck. Find someone who can, star in your movie, but it's just not a possibility. I mean, obviously there's a strong narrative challenge with the film, and there's an equally strong technical challenge, and those two are intrinsic upon each other. In order to do it properly, you really have to have a lot of balls, and I frankly just thought on day 5, some guy would show up to set wearing a very expensive suit, and he would tell us that we have to shoot some exteriors now, and some flashback sequences, and we have to let the movie breathe a little bit more, and after reading the script, these are some of the cynical thoughts I had. Then I got a letter from Rodrigo Cortés, which is just a couple pages longer than the actual script. And that stated in no uncertain terms how he would do it, why he wanted to do it. I think the thing had diagrams on how you do it. I mean, the passion was unbelievable. And he flew out to LA. We had lunch, and 40 minutes later, we're shaking hands and talking about our trip to Barcelona. Incidentally, I still don't know why we had to shoot this in Barcelona. I was thinking Chris Farling's buddy's house.
Yeah, right.
But no, that's where we went.
Rodrigo, can you talk about actually what Ryan touched upon, the technical challenges of shooting in such a small space and lighting so beautifully in such a small space with a BlackBerry and a Zippo? How did you manage that?
A great lighting director, for starters, a great gaffer, unofficial, of course. This guy made me light the movie, which was probably the worst job I've ever had in my life. They made me reshoot sometimes because the lighting guy sucked, which was me.
He ought to light himself so we can give any hope.
So it was actually all lit with the BlackBerry and the lighter? There was no faking?
No, I'm kidding. No. We did a lot of tricks, of course, but 90% of it is practical. I mean that even when you use the Zippo, it's a real Zippo. And that's what we are using, nothing else. And instead, sometimes, except that's the word, sorry, no English. Well, except for the moments when the Zippo was out of frame, and sometimes we used 3 of them. You remember that we
called it the Thrippo.
We were so inventive. You remember that? Yeah, that was about it. Yeah, because I wanted this to be a physical experience. So I wanted everybody to experience the film, not to see it. Instead of seeing it with your eyes, you have to see it with your bones, with your flesh, with your body, with your blood, with whatever, with your whole body. And a light was important for that, because I wanted everybody to experience exactly what he is experiencing. So in a regular film, when you have darkness, it's fake darkness. And you are seeing things, and you assume that you are seeing things that the main role character is not seeing. But in this case, when we have darkness, we have pitch black. Because everything has to be so believable, so touchable. So I want everybody to leave the theater being 4 pounds lighter.
I think you achieved that, yeah? The actual set, the practical coffin that you used? Like what was that? How many walls did it have? Did it change shape during filming?
Well, we had to design and build 7 different coffins in order to become this real. Because, I mean, shooting this film is impossible. So that's the first thing we understood. And I didn't want to use common sense. Because I knew that if I used it, I was going to find out very soon that it wasn't possible. And I wanted to find it out when it was too late. Now I know it's impossible, but it's too late because the movie is done, so that's the right moment. And instead of focusing on how to shoot it, I focus on the story itself, on what I wanted the audience to feel, and how to get that, with what tools. If it was a 360 dolly shot around the box, I didn't think if it was possible or not, because I knew it was impossible, so I preferred not to think about it. If I needed handheld shots to have a very violent energy for a certain sequence, instead of knowing that, of course, you cannot shoot handheld in Cinebox, I decided not to renounce to that, and only then found a way to do that. And that way was building these 7 different boxes with 7 different names for 7 different needs, so these impossible shots could be achieved.
Ryan, can you talk a bit about what it was like to be alone in 7 different boxes?